Good morning to all. Welcome back to today's science class, and today we are going to start a new block in science, that is our 8th block, and its name is our nervous system. Our nervous system. And according to you, this is actually the last block in your first volume, and in this lesson when you are this our nervous system. Okay, in this block we are mainly discussing about our nervous system. Our nervous system is mainly consist of our brain, spinal cord and nerves is considered as nervous system. Nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord and nerve. Okay. So in this block we will discuss the more, or we will discuss, or you will learn the more new concepts, or you will get more informations about your body. Okay, so when we are discussing this block, we have to revise the previous blocks, what all the things we discussed, like sense organs, and that last chapter we discussed about the bones. All those things we will just that continuation part only this block also means in the last chapters or last block what all the things we discussed, that in all those informations we require for study this block. Okay, so now we can start our block, and our first lesson in this block is human brain. And we know that the brain is very important part of our body, and what's the specialty, or how this brain, why we can say that human brain is an important, means it provides a great role in our day-to-day life, like that things, why all those things, why we can say that brain is an important thing in our body. Okay, so all those things we can discuss. So the aim of this first lesson is to identify the parts of human brain. So mainly we are identifying the various parts of human brain and describe their function. Okay, and if we consider, whenever we are saying about human brain, it's like a supercomputer. Okay, our brain is like a supercomputer. We can record all the information to our brain, and it's act as a master of our body. Our brain is act as a master of our body. When we discussing about the last block, I told you that there are many bones are present there, and these bones are protecting the internal organs present in our body. So the skull is actually protecting our brain. Okay, skull, a bony structure is considered as skull, and the skull is protecting our brain. And when we consider about this human brain, it is protected by the skull. Okay, and this brain act as a human brain is unique, and it controlling all the activities in our body. Okay, mainly these human brains, there are three parts. Human brain we can divide it into three parts, that are cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem. Okay, that are to identify the parts. That first part we can consider as cerebrum. Okay, the cerebrum is the most important. Each and every part has its own importance, but when we consider about the cerebrum, this is the largest part of our brain. Okay, the biggest part of our brain is cerebrum, and second part is cerebellum. Okay, second part is cerebellum, and third part is brainstem. Third part is brainstem. Cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem. These are the various, or we can divide our brain into three main parts, that are cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem. And now we can discuss each and every parts. Before that, in your textbook, here it is, in your content book, one diagram is given for the brain. Means like you can see here in this picture also you can see. And you have to, before discussing each and every parts functions, we can first look this diagrams. Here you can see with the different colors, here it is marked. And when we consider about the cerebrum, okay, cerebrum is considered as an intelligence and personality. You can see the center of intelligence is considered as our cerebrum. And this cerebrum, then you at the top you can see the skull. Okay, this bony space is considered as skull, and inside there is some that is considered as our human brain. And in this human brain, already I told you that it's divided into 3 parts, that are cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem. You just look this diagram closely, and in this case you can identify. I already told you that the cerebrum is the largest part of our brain, and what all the things is deals with this cerebrum. You can see that intelligence and in cerebrum there will be different colors marking also. Here it is given, cerebrum, intelligence and personality. That means cerebrum is considered as a center of intelligence and personality. How our personality, okay, according to our personality, all these things are affecting, means all these things are related with the cerebrum. And hearing is one of the, means we can hear, that is because of with the help of our sense organs only we can hearing, touch, sight. Okay, so all this information is given by this cerebrum. And movement also here it is given. Okay, movement in this sense, in the big normally movement we can discuss. So you can in this picture you can see all these things. Cerebrum is considered as a center of intelligence and personality, and it controls our sense organs and movement also, movement of our body. Then you can see this cerebellum, and the cerebellum, that size also you can see. So you can compare the size of cerebrum and the cerebellum. So we can conclude that cerebrum is the largest or biggest part of our brain. After that, cerebellum and brainstem. Brainstem is attached, or just this cerebellum is the below of cerebrum, and brainstem is just bottom of this cerebellum. And brainstem, this blue colored, here it is shown about the brainstem. Okay, so like this only our arrangement, means these 3 parts we are dividing on the basis of their size. First important thing is cerebrum. Already I told you that it's a center of intelligence. In examination times and all, what all the things you are learning. If I am saying that today there is a test for science, then you will learn that particular chapters and everything. So when you are learning time, all those things are recorded or stored in your cerebrum. Okay, so this cerebrums gives like it helps for, it's sitting for learning, and at the same time we can remember the things. And you know that you know your friends and your relatives names, and you means when you consider, you know your teachers names and all these things are already saved in your, like a computer all the information we have to save in memory is also there. So our memory, or all if we consider like this kinds of information, we are actually stored in our cerebrum. Okay, that's why there it is given intelligence and personality. Cerebrum is also considered as a center of intelligence. Okay, and center of intelligence, and we can it helps for learning, remembering, retrieving the things, and it helps for movement. How can we say that is help for movement? We know that if we need to eat something, okay, so we know that how to eat. Okay, if we need to having the lunch, okay, so that time we are folding our fingers, and there is a bending of our elbow. All like these movements are mainly, it helps to all this information, all like these movements are mainly because of our brain, and main thing is that cerebrum. And when we are if we need to sit, okay, actually when we are sitting there we need to bend our knee, okay, but every time we are not it's automatically it happens. So if we are going to sit, that information is suddenly passes through our brain, then the brain is given information to bend the knee. That's why we can, means like this kinds of motor response can also provide by this cerebrum. Okay, so this cerebrum is the largest part of our brain, and it helps it controls the body movement. It controls our body movement. And okay, so when we consider about the cerebrum, it is the topmost and largest part of our brain, and it controls our emotions. When we are shouting time, means like this kinds of emotions, crying, shout, means when we are becomes angry, all like this kinds of emotions are controlled by who? This cerebrum. And at the same time it control our sense organs, like already I told you that hearing, sense of touch, sight, mainly the sense organs it can control. Then it is responsible for our thinking. That means in a particular situation, if any, means for example, in your exam time, give reason, like this kinds of questions may come, application level questions may come. All those things you are giving in your own imagination. All this imagination or your thinking, all these things are relating with our, all that kinds of information is providing actually your brain. Okay, so we can say that this brain is the master of our body, and it acts as a supercomputer. Means we can compare this brain is like a supercomputer. Okay, so this is the largest part of our brain, largest and topmost part of our brain. And when we consider about the cerebellum, cerebellum is present just below the cerebrum, and this cerebellum, okay, so it's just it acts as a little brain. This we can consider as a little brain, and it is situated just below the brain, and it given balance to our body. How can you say that the balance? If we stand straight, okay, without shaking, or we can stand straight. Okay, so like this kinds of balance, it given balance for our body. You just imagine that if we don't have the balance for our body, we suddenly fell down, okay, or otherwise there is a slipping may happens. So to avoid these kinds of unnecessary fell downs and all, our cerebellum give an balance to our body, and at the same time it control the movement of muscles. Okay, it helps the movement of muscles. That is our cerebellum. And brainstem. When we consider about brainstem, its another name is medulla oblongata. So this brainstem, it actually connects the brains to our rest of our body. Like there is, means here, this already I told when we discussing about joints, meeting place of bones, like that we said. So this brainstem is actually connect our brain to the spinal cord, this back side, in our human brain, when we are considering time, this back side, this medulla oblongata, which connects the brain to the rest of the body. Okay, that means this part is our head, then body. So there should be a connection between us. Otherwise, if there is no connection, we can't able to do the, means there is no coordination of our body. So brainstem is actually connects the brains to rest of the body through the spinal cord. What's the function of this brainstem? It controls the involuntary activities in our body. What is considered as involuntary activities? Involuntary activities are the activities which is not in our control. For example, if you need to walk, we can walk. and if we need to stop walking, then all those things, the movement of our leg is actually in our own control, the movement of hands in our control. But in our body, some process is not in our control. For example, breathing, beating of heart, heartbeats, breathing, and digestion. Means we know that we are taking the food thrice in a day. So that food has to digest. Okay, so this digestion process, all these things are mainly related with what? This brainstem. Okay, so these are the functions of these three parts of the brain. Okay, three parts of the brain. So the aim of this, so that aim we achieved, the aim is identify the parts of human brain. What are the parts of human brain? Cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem, and describe their function. Its function also we discussed, right? What is the function of cerebrum? It's act as a center of intelligence, and it's a topmost and largest part of our brain, and it helps or it controls the body movement, and it helps for thinking and controlling the sense organs and our emotions also. Okay, so like these things, and it helps for thinking. What all the things we are consider, means in your mind, what all the things are going on. Okay, every day to day life, what all the things are going in your going on in your day to day life activities. All these things are responsible for our cerebrum. Okay. Then cerebellum. Cerebellum is considered as a little brain, and it is situated just below the cerebrum. And what's the speciality of the cerebellum? It gives balance to our body. It gives balance to our body, and at the same time we can say that it helps the movement of muscles. Okay. Then third one is brainstem, and brainstem which present at the bottom of the brain, and it is also connects the brains to the spinal cord. Okay, then what's the function of this brainstem? It controls the involuntary, it's mainly depends the involuntary activities like heartbeats and our breathing, digestion of food, like that things mainly its function. Okay, and its cerebrum and the cerebellum, mainly this cerebrum we can mainly consider as the voluntary activities. Here involuntary activities which is not in our control. Okay, and at the same time one more thing you have to remember, our brain we have to protect well, because this already I told you that our brain or cerebrum is the center of intelligence. What all the things means, if we have a healthy brain, then only our activities, even though if we have a good healthy bones, joints, everything, then if our brain got any kinds of injuries and all, it affects the whole body. Okay, so that's why the head injuries, and that means normally we are saying that the peoples, those who are driving the two-wheelers and all, they have to wear the helmet. Why only covering the head? All other parts there is no coverings and all. Why we are giving more importance to our head? Because if already in a road accidents are happening time, if the two-wheelers peoples, those who are driving the two-wheelers are requested or instructed to wear the helmets, if there is any kinds of accidents are happening time, if there is head, sometimes it suddenly that head, maybe head injuries may happen. If they wore these helmets, their head is safe from that time, means otherwise suddenly okay, so otherwise what will happen, if there is any kinds of head injuries are happening time, it will lead to death of that person, or otherwise that person may paralyzed. Okay, is there any kinds of injuries happen? So we should protect our brain. How can we protect? Because we have to take a normal cases, we can say that we have to give a proper rest to our brain. How can we give the rest for our brain? That means we have to, means in our, if we wake up in whole daytime and all, we are doing different various works. Okay, and for writing, learning, and all those time you are using your brain. It's brain, our brain is actually working. If we are at, when we are sleeping time, we are sometimes, if we give a rest for our brain, actually we are giving, so we should take a proper sleep for 8 to 10 hours. We have to sleep, so that time we can give a rest for our brain. Okay, and at the same time we can keep a healthy diet. Okay, we should keep a healthy diet, that also keeps our brain fit. And at the same time we can take like yoga. So this 8 hours sleep or 8 to 10 hours sleeps, and at the same time yoga, meditation, all these things relaxes our brain. Okay, so and at the same time we have to keep, we have to protect our brain from the injuries and all. Okay, so in that way we can protect our brain. Actually this brain is very important thing in our life. Okay, it's because what all the things we are doing, if we having a healthy body, but if our brain got some kinds of injuries and all, we will be paralyzed. We can't able to walk also. That's why the people also are having any kinds of operations because of these road accidents. And if we are, sometimes the people may fell down, that time there will be an injuries in their head. So like these kinds of operations, if that person is undertake any kinds of operations and all, what will happen, it will take time to recover. Sometimes that person becomes completely paralyzed, or otherwise it will take long time for the recovery of that person. Okay, so we should consider, if we take an each and every step, it should be carefully, because our normally we knows that our carelessness may leads to accidents. To avoid accidents or fell downs and all, we should be, so we all are too lucky. We have a good body and we can do various things in our own way. Okay, so we should, in our case, we should always we should always keep it like this. Already I told you that how can we protect our brain, a healthy diet and a good sleep, meditation, yoga. With all these things we can make our body and our brain also healthy. Okay, so all these things you have to keep in mind. I hope you understood about this concept. Now we can discuss the worksheet answers. Okay, and in your workbook, here it is given the question. First one, how are the brainstem, how are the brainstem, cerebrum, cerebellum different in how they look and what they do? Okay. So here brainstem, and in the case of brainstem, what we can write first, here it is asking how they different. Okay, brainstem, it mainly consider according to the function. First we can write, it's when you are writing time, you can listen my video, and at the same time when you are writing the answers in your workbook, you have to use your content book also. Function, like it helps for digestion, breathing and involuntary actions, and how they look like. They are very small in size, brainstem, and what they do, that function already we discussed. Cerebrum, what is this? Cerebrum is second smallest part of our brain, and it acts as a little brain, and what they do, it helps the movement of our muscles and give balance to our body. Cerebellum, largest part of our brain, and what's the speciality? It's also and how they, and at the same time it's act as a, it provides, it controls the sense organs, and it act as, it helps for, it's mainly controls the sense organs and emotions, and it is responsible for thinking. Any one function you can write. Second question, to which part of computer can we compare with human brain? Which part of computer and human brain, in which part of human brain here it is asked? Cerebrum. Okay, why? Because in computer there is a stored informations or saved things like memories available in computer. So like that in cerebrum it stored the informations or all the thinking, learning, remembering, all these informations are recorded in our cerebrum. So we can compare it with the computer. Then B, why do we need to protect the brain? How can we protect it? Why do we need to protect the brain? We should protect the brain because this brain is actually controls our body. Okay, all of our body, all parts of body, for its movement and involuntary actions, all these things, this brain is responsible for the movement of our body and thinking, remembering, all those things. Brain is the center of intelligence of our body. Like that you can consider. You can write here. How can we protect it? We can protect it from injuries, and we can take a balanced diet and good sleep. That already I discussed. Good sleep, meditation, yoga can protect the or keep the brain fit. Then third question, if we sleep in a moving bus or car, we tend to fall back and forth. This does not happen when we are awake. Why? Actually, when we are sleeping time, already I told you that time our cerebrum, means this brain is also like involuntary actions like heartbeats, like that things are automatically it happens. So when we awake, so that time what will happens, our brain provide the balance to our body and it avoid unnecessary movement in our body. Already I told you that. So while sleeping time, what will happens, this cerebrum also in a state of rest. Okay, so that's why we are moving forth and back. When we are awake time, we are not like this kinds of unnecessary or unwanted movements does not happens, because our brain given balance to our body and it avoid the unnecessary movement of our body. Are you clear? So that's all about this first lesson. And what are the keywords we discussed in this lesson? That are cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem. Brainstem, these are the keywords we discussed in this lesson. That's all about today's class. Thank you.